are live. Hello all newcomers, and welcome back my fellow Eternians. As always, it's me, Emperor AP. Today, we are here at a beautiful day at Talon and Vine Farm. Let me show you. Right now we have, let's see if I can adjust properly. We have some fog rolling in here. Just a little bit off of our property, actually right onto the next property, but still an absolutely beautiful scene here at Talon and Vine Farm. We are, of course, in the Garden of Nations. We are selling Beatus Crass as well as Primario, the two sponsors, supporters, and developers of the Garden of Nations with us. We have quite a bit to show you about how the garden's been developing, but I also want to take one moment to shout out our friend in the micronational community, His Majesty Queen Bougie of Mecklenburg. I am so excited to tell a very happy birthday to Queen Bougie. I saw posts earlier today notifying about the Queen's birthday, and I'm excited to deliver a happy birthday to His Majesty, as well a joyous celebration for all the people of Mecklenburg. Statio Dialypsia, great to see you. Thank you for being here. I'm excited to see another micronation, especially an international micronation here with us, getting to talk a little bit about how we're preparing for fall. Here we're inside of the United States, inside of the state of Alabama, and we are starting to get into fall. It's already September, so for a lot of people around the world, fall has already well set in other parts of the geographical United States. North America, a lot of fall has already set in. Here we are just starting to get the effects of it. Everything's cooling down. We need to start thinking about how we're going to prepare for fall and how we're going to develop our territories and set ourselves up to move forward this year and progress, give us a great head start, for example, for spring, for planting season then. So that being the case, I'm excited to talk to everybody, show you what we're doing. I want to start off by looking at our first raised bed, because there have been some big developments. Again, this is a raised bed that we've had for, I would say, going on a month and a half, 2 months now. And these were plants that we transplanted from pots that we had been keeping alive at a previous property, but we have a number of big developments. We've already been able to get a couple of harvests off of this one planter right here. This is basically a 1 meter cubed garden bed. And so we have been able to take what we planted in here, which are 3 bell pepper plants, 1 eggplant plant, and a head of cabbage. And we have actually been able to pull quite a bit from it. We haven't done too much with the cabbage. You know, it's kind of one big harvest there, but it's getting attacked by bugs. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But we have already had some harvests of eggplant and of bell pepper. So I want to go ahead and show, first off, our teeny tiniest little bell pepper plant. This one right here was one that we were not expecting a ton out of. It was barely a stick when we put it in here, and we were just hoping that we could get it to come back and survive. And sure enough, it has. We already have some little peppers growing right there. You can see one right there. Here's another one that's actually growing the opposite direction. They're kind of upside down from one another. That's a little funny. And then we might have a third one on here. Yep, I can feel him right there. If you guys can see, let me move that out of the way right there. So that's that third one. Let me line the camera up. So we have 3 on this plant alone. And then you can see there's still some more flowers here, actually. If we can zoom in right here, there's another flower right there. So we'll continue to get some growth there. We have some more flowers blooming, budding right there, I should say. So we have some growth there. We also have some growth on the second one. No big peppers on this one yet. We've still been kind of waiting on those, but we do have a little one starting out right here that we can see. We have a couple more that have already started. There's one down here, for example. But this one is still taking its time maturing, trying to grow into its fruit. And then we have our biggest one here. The largest one. This one has had a couple harvests on it already. We've been able to make a few dishes with bell pepper or 2 from this. And so we have one right here, another right here, a little baby. We actually harvested this the other day, so you can see for example, right here where we broke one off, but we have another one right here. We have one over here. This one's producing quite a bit, and again, just sort of for these second stage ones that we've had growing, we're having to wait for them to build up a little bit. So we've gotten 2 to 3 bell peppers off of this, which again, at that size, you know, they're not huge, a bell pepper for maybe one person, but still very nice. Still has been able to be a nice addition to our meals, help us cut down on costs. And then this is, of course, our main attraction, the big, the beautiful, amazing and strong eggplant plant. This thing has been going crazy for us. So I want to show you. We have one eggplant right here. Look at this. Just watering it, giving it a little bit of fertilizer here and there. Here is another one. I want to kind of unveil this one slowly, dramatically. Let's see. So here's a second one. Again, a monster right here. Not quite as big as the first, but this one is, I believe, significantly younger, maybe by a few days. So this one still has quite a bit of growing to do as well. But we're going to need to harvest these pretty quickly. There is a ton of growth this plant can do. There's already, you know, maybe 10 or 12 places where flowers are starting to bud on this thing. So this could get really massive, but of course our growth and development is going to be limited by the size of this raised bed. But we also have another one right here, and again, just, I mean, a big one. So that's 3 on this one plant that's been developing so far. Oh, I'm not telling the truth, 4. We have a sneaky 4 right here with this baby that's growing up. So we have already harvested 2 eggplants off of this guy already. One that we let sit way too long, and then another one that was pretty nice the other night. So we've had a couple eggplants that we've harvested from this. That's been really nice. And then actually 3 eggplants. We had the 2 that we harvested one night for dinner, and then I had one that we tried to grill, but that was one that was very overripe. It didn't get old per se, like other fruits, vegetables that would get overripe. They would rot on the vine. That's not exactly, or on the plant. That's not exactly what happened here. It just got really tough. It became really green, yellow, hard, and just not great to eat. So we ate it. It was a little bit bitter. It wasn't great, but it was fine. And then we had the other 2. So this is really growing up. As you can see, we don't use pesticides, at least we haven't. And so that being the case, we are getting eaten up by cabbage worm, of course. The blight is amongst our plants. And so we're having to pick these gross little guys off of there, and we can give them to our quail. So the circle of life goes around, and that's how we use things efficiently in the garden. Hey, perfect. We have an egg right there. That means that we have had 2 eggs today that our quail have laid. That's amazing, especially because today was a very cloudy day, and we've been getting about 1 egg for these birds. So it is incredible to see that we've gotten 2 eggs today. That is very impressive, something exciting to see. So that being the case, again, we have this 1 cabbage back here developing quite well. We have our 3 pepper plants developing quite well. And then we have our big eggplant. This is a substantial amount of food. This is not small production by any means. I mean, it is for commercial farms, something like that. You look back at, for example, all of these soybeans that are growing in the field behind me. This is, you know, massive amount of food, but of course your family isn't going to sit there and eat soybeans 24/7, 7 days a week forever, as would be imagined by this large soybean field. This is a little more diversity. It's for our small family, you know, trying to be able to reduce our food costs, and so being able to have something like this that really is productive for a small group of people. I think of, you know, 3 people in a house. This is pretty decent. This is pretty nice. And so being able to supplement our dinners, things like that. You know, the other night when we made a dish with this, we used a couple, 3 or 4 of the bell peppers. We used 2 eggplants, and that was able to get us a nice side item, you know, with those eggplants, everybody getting a half of the eggplant, and then leaving kind of one left over from next day. Also having basically taking ground beef and rice and seasonings, and those being the only things that we had to get from the store, get from outside of Eternia. The rest of the parts of the dish were incorporated by just those two components, and so that can add a lot of filler to the meal, can provide a little bit of different flavor, and it helps to reduce that budget. It helps to stretch things a little bit further, so that's great for us. That helps us to save money and put things into continued development here at Talon and Vine Farm. So again, pointing out those quail, that's another way that we continue to develop like that. So when we're talking about all this, we have to start talking about it in the context of the fall. We are actually coming into the fall. And so before I get to this next garden bed, I just want to point out that's something we really have to think about. The change of the seasons when we're getting into agriculture, when we're getting into developing and having people come and help us, we have to think about the seasons, not only for these plants, but also for the people who are working with them and developing with them, and working in the rest of the empire. People's time and ability is going to change potentially with the seasons, so we have to keep that in mind. That being the case, in trying to work on something like our garden, we can design and plan these seasonal developments and changes that we have, that then help us to be kind of a microcosm of the empire, and being able to understand what it is that people's needs and different groups are, that we can develop and prepare for different seasons. For example, when you go into the fall and the winter, you start getting that colder weather. The buildings that you have, if you have water running to them, you'll have to prepare and potentially heat those pipes. You'll have to figure out a way to heat people's homes, do things like that. You know, you'll have to make sure that you're able to have any sidewalks or trails or anything that people are needing to walk through are cleared, and if you're in a very cold region, like free of ice. So all of that is needs to be taken into account, and those are just a few things. But all of that needs to be taken into account when you're talking about the change of the seasons. And so here, with our garden, with our plants, that's a great way for us to start thinking about what it means to be developing for the fall. So this is the first time that we have had a large, significant development in our garden. You know, our last year's harvest from our garden was paltry in comparison. You know, many times the food, the weight of the food that we've been able to get just in the last couple months. So that being the case, let me adjust my camera. Excuse me, everybody. I'm trying to position it. I hope I'm not making anybody sick. First off, let me go ahead and read some comments. Kamo Mayer says hi. Great to see you, Kamo. Thank you for being here. Millie says great to see you. Nathan Alexander says hi. Thank you so much for being here. Lady Elizabeth of Beatus Crass says, beautiful garden. Thank you so much. This is thanks to the people of Beatus Crass, Lady Elizabeth, Lord Campbell. You guys have helped to make this happen. This is honestly in part because of you. Your collaboration, your support, your financing directly makes this possible. So I do want to talk about it a little bit. I showed the first garden bed off. I will show the second one off quickly, and then I'll get back to more comments. We have this little tiny plant. Again, we kind of did the plants in height, the opposite direction, and their development has seemed to go smallest to largest here. So we have this little baby guy. We didn't know if he was going to make it or not either. He is producing one massive pepper right here compared to his size. It is dragging the ground just about. We then have the second one here, doing very similar, kind of a medium-sized one. This one, it was a little bit weak, but it was doing all right. Oh, we actually have two. Sorry, going back to the star of the show, the little guy again. We have two peppers growing on it. So this is really wild that the majority of its mass at this point is bell pepper. That's very silly. This one, getting pretty large. Similar, has been developing for a little bit. I think we may have actually picked one off of here already. So that may be the reason for its lag, but this one's always been doing quite well. And then we have our tall boy here, producing a lot of fruit, just needing to develop, taking a moment to actually fully grow these out. But you can see there's a couple here, 3 that are really going and are going to get quite large over the next week, basically. Then, of course, we have our huge branching bunches of tomatoes, if I can point them out properly. All of these tomatoes here are actively in development. Most of them, we have had 0 harvests off of this. Most of them are actually in the flower stage right now. So we have the majority of our plants flowering, trying to start turning into small tomatoes. And I can point out a few that are doing quite well at the moment. So we have some back here that are getting quite large. Again, these are cherry tomatoes, so definitely going to be a lot smaller in size than, say, like a beefsteak. But you get a ton of them. So we have all of these little guys right here. We have just bunches and bunches, and you can see all the yellow flowers that are here. All of those yellow flowers will turn into tomatoes as well. Now, this is something that we could make even more efficient with proper pruning. There are certain techniques you can use to prune your tomato plants, which will maximize their yield and harvest. We didn't really focus on that too much this year. We learned a little bit about it in preparation for this summer, but we really didn't put a ton of effort into that. So that will be something that we have to develop and work on next year. But I just did want to show off for here that we are developing quite well. Rob in Ohio says, insects on the eggplants. That's a great question. I will say we have had with insects on our eggplants. Part of that, I think, is that we have ants in our beds. I don't think they are doing a ton to help our plants, I'll be honest. And in some ways, they're actually hurting our plants. But they specifically don't attack our plants, and they do predate some of the insects that get onto our plants. But we also have quite a diverse little ecosystem there, especially with the eggplant over here. I'll just show you real quick, Rob. There's a pretty dense patch of foliage right there. And so things like spiders, things like, the occasional like praying mantis or something, dragonflies, all of those things can hang out in here, bees, wasps, all of those things can hang out in here, and they help to pollinate our plants to some degree, for example, like the bees and wasps, flies, but a lot of it actually helps predators to hide in there. So while there are some things like, for example, the cabbage worm that we're getting absolutely devastated by, it's not too crazy. I will say the ants being in there, one of the biggest downsides is that they like to build their nests right around the plants. And so I've heard that in addition to that causing some issues for the roots and them kind of digging the plants out, which is a big issue. The other thing is that they are, they're really smart. They have potentially ways to farm aphids. This is something that I've read a little bit about, and I haven't been able to identify aphids, but I do see quite a bit of potential aphid damage. And so that leads me to believe they are helping to kind of cooperate with the aphids and are maybe making our aphid problem a little bit worse than it would be otherwise, defending the aphid eggs and things from other animals that would predate them. But that hasn't been that crazy a problem. There have been the silkworms, the cabbage worms have been a much larger issue. James says, final draft of the report is concluded and sent. Thank you so much, James. If you all don't know, James is our pact bearer in the Empire of Aeternia. He is a noble inside of the House of Others. He helps us to keep our pacts, keep our promises, both to our citizens internally as well as to other diplomats, other nations, and other entities out in the world externally. So James is an incredible part of what we do and a very important part of our government. And he has actually just submitted a week early his draft, his final report for our first goals of the year. If you guys don't know, August 20th was our 9th founding day. And so we started off moving forward in our year with some pretty aggressive development in our government. It's been working out well so far. We've just had our first goals launched out as of last week. It takes 2 weeks for the goals to be developed and worked through. And so James has, in the middle of these developments, prepared and submitted his first assignment. So incredibly excited to see that. Incredibly excited to see how our next meeting comes together and how everybody really collaborates. In our first meeting, we had a lot of great input. We had a lot of people within our government who came in and gave it their all, and really stepped up to the plate in roles that were new for them. And so now seeing these goals being developed and actually getting response back is exciting, because it means that we're moving forward in the right direction. Even if there are hiccups, even if there are difficulties, that it's a group of people who are each bringing something to the table, and that we're all figuring out how to work together with each other and how to push what we're doing forward. So I'm incredibly excited to see that with James. It seems like a great step in the right direction. I'm excited to see what that benefit brings us next meeting. Stato de Ellipsia says, cool. Thank you so much for being here. James says, how's everyone today? Lovely to have you all with us. Absolutely. Thank you, James, for, as always, showing support to those who support us. And of course, being the pact bearer of our empire, keeping that support strong. Lady Elizabeth said, so glad the quail are doing well. Yes, they are doing well. Producing eggs, living happily. We actually want to move forward with expanding our flock. We want to get into incubation and developing our flock a little bit larger. But right now we have had some stalls working on other things to push that onto the back burner a little bit. So in talking about what we're doing this fall, I want to get to that as well. James says, if anyone has any ideas for the Garden of Nations or Eternia at large, let us know in the community Discord. If you want to support us or become a citizen, join the Patreon, like and subscribe for more. Absolutely. Thank you, James. One, for putting that down in the chat for everybody. Two, for reminding me to do it. Yes, we do, if you guys don't know, have more ways to reach out to us. We have our Discord, we have our Patreon, and those are places where people come together and directly interact with us, engage with us in a way that builds what you see around us. So that means a lot. James said he'll be back later when he gets a charger. Thank you, James, for being here. I'm excited to talk to you more. But for all the people who are in here for micronational development, who are trying to learn a little bit about how to progress their nations, right now we're in the fall, and I'm about to start explaining to you what it is that we need to do with these garden beds. So first off, you'll notice we have 4 garden beds. We have one right here. We have one right here, our first garden bed that has been our prolific producer, earliest started, most amazing success story. Then we have number 2 right here, pretty large, starting to get into its big development. Excited to get a little bit from it before the fall hits in too heavy. And then we have a third one right here, which has been assembled. The frame of it has been put together, but we still need to line it properly to protect it and to allow our dirt a nice place to sit, to be able to raise up high enough that we can set our plants in comfortably. And then we have another one right there, which is still early into the development process. We have 4 out of 5 pallets that we need, so we're going to get one more, put it up in the front, and then actually nail everything together, secure it, and put some more lining in, as you can see right there. These 2 beds, as opposed to the first 2, are going to be our fall plants. So we have not planted what we're going to plant in them, but again, because the fall and winter season starts up so late in the Eternian territories, we have a good bit of time to actually go ahead and start planting with these. It would be good for us to go ahead and do it right now, but we aren't in too critical a position yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish these beds and commit that early start of our fall plants in these 2. Then when these get to kind of a maximum harvest, and we've done all we can with the first 2, we're going to sacrifice them, chop them down, end their season a little bit early, and then we're going to go ahead and get a chase basically to the development of these first beds. So those 2 second beds behind me are going to go into our fall plants immediately, and then these first 2 beds, once we cut them back, will actually be chasing the development of the next 2. So we should eventually have 4 total raised beds of fall plants going in that should eventually come to harvest in the late winter, and then we will be able to have an even larger production for our farm. So even though the Garden of Nations right now is very small, very limited, and doesn't even fully provide for the necessities of my direct family, it is still something that is going to increase in development, even though we have started it in the basically midsummer, to be able to get to this point here, going into early fall now. And so we need to transition all of this to continue that growth, to get even larger. We've already expanded 2 more beds. We need to put something in those beds, make sure that our fall harvest is potentially double, triple what our limited summer harvest has been. So that may be significantly more development that we can bring, not only for ourselves and for reducing our grocery bill, things like that, but also providing for our local citizens, providing for other community members near us, to offer other benefit, to show that Eternia can produce for others, and to make the sponsors of the Garden of Nations proud, because after all, we are a garden of nations. We're a group coming together to produce something to make the world better. And so my family directly, is getting fed from this Garden of Nations, and others deserve to too. So we're excited to see, as we continue to get more produce, what we can do with that, and eventually develop a system once it is so much that we can't take all of it, that it is more than we need for ourselves, that we can start to design a plan to distribute that and to actually either sell that or provide it to nonprofit groups locally, trying to get it to the places of most benefit for us and also most need in our community. So that being the case, that is how we're going to be developing our raised beds for this fall. So again, these 2 over here that you can see behind me that are empty, those are going to need to go very, very quickly. We're going to have to fill those with dirt, which, because our lawnmower is shut down right now, we've been having big issues moving dirt. We would normally haul it with this little tractor, this little trailer right here. But that little trailer that attaches to our lawnmower is actively destroyed as well. Its wheel has fallen off. So in addition to our lawnmower being broken, our little trailer right there is also broken. And so in the need to fix and repair those up, we have been moving the dirt with wheelbarrows. So it takes a good little while to fill up a garden bed like this one that you can see behind me, but we get it done, and we will be able to start developing our fall harvest, our fall plants. We'll start planting from seed pretty quickly within the next week, I would say. At that point, we are now in the middle, leaning toward the end of our muscadine harvest. We have started to get a lot of ripe muscadines. They're coming in. We're excited to be able to eat those. If you don't know what they are, they're little. I can actually go and grab one. I'll run off screen for a second and pick one. But they are grapes. They're grapes native to the southeastern sections of North America, southeastern sections of the United States, geographically within North America. That being the case, the Empire of Aeternia is sectioned within that region, and we are able to benefit from it. So these are not only muscadines that are out here, because they've been planted, because they're, we're harvesting them, but they are a native species here as well. So this is something that we can benefit from, that isn't invasive, isn't anything that's a large change to the environment, and is a wonderful part of the culture around here. So we do have those muscadines, which we're going to be picking and using. James says, got to get fruits and berries up so we can start bottling Royal Reserve. Absolutely, absolutely. We did do a limited run on our elderberry syrup that made elderberry sodas. So now we do have the ability to pick these muscadines for a bottling of Royal Reserve, certainly. If you guys don't know, Royal Reserve is something James was talking about a few live streams ago when we were talking about these different plants and what we could do with them. And James suggesting creating sodas, creating potentially alcoholic beverages with that. So it's for sure something that is exciting to think about and to start developing. Like that's a thing that we can make a part of our culture right now. That's something that people, I think, have a great fondness for and a great connection to. So I actually want to run and grab one. I will be right back. You guys can hear me, but you can't see me. I'm not sure how long my range on my microphone is, but we'll find out. All right. I am here to grab a muscadine, if you guys can hear me. Ooh, yep. We got a couple soft ones, so I'll just grab them right there. Now, a native grape around here. One of the things that's nice about muscadines, I used to think that you couldn't eat the skin, but apparently you can. It provides a lot of antioxidants, a lot of benefits. So, yeah, and this one, very sweet. Hey, we have a newcomer. Gaksu said hello. Hey, thank you for being here. Just showing off some of our harvest of our muscadines. These are a subclassification of muscadines known as scuppernongs, and they are pretty cool. We're going to try and take these. We'd hopefully like to have some people come out pretty soon to do a foraging day where they could actually come, learn about the muscadines, and pick some from us and support our cause that way. Other than that, we do want to get some for our own product making purposes. So we want to be able to have things like what James pointed out with Royal Reserve, potentially a soda or a wine or something that we could make out of these berries, these grapes. So that'll be pretty important. We talked about a minute ago developing our raised garden beds and how we're going to be preparing our garden for the fall. Edwin Portillo says, congrats on the progress. Thank you so much, Edwin. This scuppernong is for you. To my understanding, these are scuppernongs, which are a subclassification of muscadine that doesn't turn red. They're like the green grapes. They're a big green grape. But they're really good. They're a little bit bitter. But previously in the season, when we were trying to, check which ones were ready, very, very sour. They're very, very sour all the way up until they're ready, maybe a week, 2 weeks. Within that window is their perfect time because before that, they're just very, very sour and quite bitter as well. So that one, those two, very soft, delicious, still on the vine, amazing. But that is most of our development for the garden specifically. Now, James says, using the sourness before they're ripe is also a unique flavor, AP. Very true, very true. It is. It's another thing that we can add. A lot of people like sour, that's true. I was saying, oh, it's so sour, I can't do it. But that is a preference of mine. Some people would like sour. And also, it may go well with other things. Drinks, great sour drinks, would be something exciting. Candy. Hey, sorry everyone. It looks like we had an issue there. I tried to exit out of YouTube and jump back in. My phone was having connection issues. But that being the case, I was going on about saying that James is right. Those flavors, that sour flavor before they're ripe, is 100% something that we can use for drinks, candies, even for cooking potentially. So that could be quite a number of ways that we could use these muscadines, and we need to explore those more on the channel. We haven't made a ton of edited videos talking to you guys about different parts of Eternian culture, and specifically, jumping back in, that's one of the things we haven't talked about on the channel a lot is parts of our culture like developing food. So that's a whole aspect that we can cover and talk about, and that'll be great for the fall because who doesn't love to stay indoors, bundle up, and eat a big plate of something delicious. So that being the case, we have exhausted a good bit of our sunlight. So that's another thing to talk about for the fall. It gets dark a lot earlier than it does in the summer. And so we're seeing that now. Of course, today's a little bit of a cloudy day, so we normally have a little bit more sunshine than we do right now. But you can see that it is still getting late pretty early. Sorry everyone. Keep having connection issues. Let me know if there's anything that's going wrong for you guys. Keep me updated in the comments. But that being the case, we've dealt with primarily how we're going to be preparing our garden for the fall. We're going to have a limited development, but it'll be something that's nice and effective for us. Our quail are some big topic of discussion when it comes to preparing for the fall. Let me take you guys over to the little guys, and we can talk about that. So these are our quail. That is their quail hutch. It is pretty cool. It's actually a little quail tractor that they are able to run around in, get some sun in this side, some shade and cover from the rain in this side, and they're able to be pulled around such that they can move their droppings around the yard, help to fertilize things, and also so that they can move and forage bugs and other things. So it's really beneficial for them. We really have been pleased with this setup and this design. One of the issues, though, is that this is not well insulated. As you can tell, it's just an open cage. So when we need to move toward the winter time, these quail are going to get cold quickly. And, you know, if they're not well protected and well insulated, they could die. So what we have to do is think carefully about how the best way to insulate, protect, and check on them is. So I think our method for that is going to be, first and foremost, just putting some insulation in and actually creating a barrier here between the covered section and the open section, where we're going to take, I'll stand over here because I do have my microphone, so you guys should be able to hear me all right. We're going to take, oh, I'm scaring them. Sorry, Quail. We're going to take this covered section here and we're going to insulate around it. We already have a little bit of foam insulation that's on the sides, so we've prepared that a little bit, but we're going to insulate the back here, and we're also going to create an insulative barrier that has a door in it that allows them to come in and out so they can still get out into the sunshine and warm up a little bit more if they want to. However, what we're going to have to make sure of is that we have these quail in a place that is protected for them, that is something that they can bundle together and really keep their body heat up. So that's going to be something crucial, and that's why we have to place that additional insulative layer. Now, even that may not be enough. During really hard freeze nights, which we don't have too many of in Alabama, but there may be some, we are in a situation where we have to be able to take these quail and add heat lamps, add temperature sensors to make sure that they stay safe, because it only takes a cold enough drop for a few minutes, a few hours for them to pass away. And so you have to be really, really careful in watching them and checking on them. And so eventually I think the way to go is just to automate, to be able to have something that we don't really have to think too much about, that can notify us at an advanced enough stage, and that we can feel easy, we can rest easy knowing that our quail are safe throughout the winter. And that is something that we can copy and continue as our flock grows. So these are really our test bed. These are our lab rats, so to speak, our lab quail. We're going to try to figure out what works best for them, what makes them happiest, what makes them most comfortable, and what allows us to keep their environment most consistent. So we're going to try to maximize everything we can for their benefit here within reason, and then we're going to try to model that in expanding and actually be able to create something that's fairly modular, so we can just build it, and expand the flock like that. Now, that's a lot easier said than done. There's a lot that goes into that, but these are the types of ideas that we're having to think about when preparing this flock for winter and for fall. Again, this is a pretty small flock, so it's not something that's a crazy big concern. We can always move them into a building if that was worst case scenario, and that is something that's great that James brought up. Let me go ahead and actually read James' comments so we can talk through them, and then I will continue with this. Warlanette says, I love the seasons when it's cold. Absolutely. I completely agree. It's nice, but for our quail, it can be very serious. James says, AP, we make a mead, we could, if we make a mead, we could age it and it would be ready by next founding day. Hey, very cool. We need to get some local honey then. We need to source some local honey for sure. James says, what about moving the quail into one of the outbuildings? That's a great point, and we absolutely can do that. I think that would be what we do in the worst case scenario. But again, we have to be real careful kind of monitoring that. And ideally, again, once our flock gets to be a large enough size, we can just have them in buildings, but it's, I don't know, it's something that's not as easy to, I can't say it's not as easy, it would be easier. It's, I think, potentially less beneficial for the quail. We'll have to look into it because it may just be worth it at a certain point to move them into permanent buildings. But I think it's nice that they're able to roam, to have these larger roving tractors. And so if we can still scale those up reasonably and effectively, that would be kind of the goal here. But that's for another time. James says, AP, with current lighting, we can't see facial features. You're a shadow against the sky. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let me go ahead and turn on some lights out here so you guys can see us a little bit. Terminix says, I'm so back. Hey, thank you so much for being here. It's good to see you, Onyx. And I am excited to talk to you more about what the Empire is doing and what we're planning for fall. Give me just one moment to hit these lights. All right, let me point myself toward the light a little more so that we can continue talking. There we go. Hey everyone. Oh, we falling? Yep. Slowly but surely. Sorry, we're kind of on a hill. I'm trying to figure out how to balance the camera exactly. But it's great to see everyone here. Hey, there we go. Okay. I think I got it. So, James says, looking very dapper. Thank you so much, James. I have to represent as always. Even when I'm wearing a shirt that's, it's got paint stains and everything else on it, I have to represent the Empire. I have to make you guys proud. So I'm doing my best, even when I'm working out on the garden. Onyx says, my name's Miriam. Oh, fantastic. Great to see you, Miriam. Thank you for being here. Gotsku says, is there a story behind the Empire? Yes, absolutely. So we are, sorry about that. I accidentally swiped my phone. Yes, there is an answer for that. There's a story behind it. We are the Empire of Aeternia. We are an empire because of the connection between our territories. So initially, we started out without any territory, without any physical land claim, without anything purchased that is considered in any court of law ours. So we had a very difficult time with recognition, with understanding how it is we develop our worldview, how it is we build ourselves a physical, tangible empire that provides benefits to its citizens, how we build a tangible nation that provides for its citizens. And so when thinking about that, the very first thing that was established is this concept of self-recognition, this concept that if I, as a citizen of the Empire of Aeternia, recognize myself as a citizen, recognize the existence of Eternia, then it is a nation. It is a nation to me. And so that being the case, that can be extended on to others, where our goal is to try to bring together as many people as possible under those similar ideas, under the Guide of Foundation Principles, which is kind of a detailed overview of our beliefs and our government structure, things like that. That connectedness, that like-minded belief system, brings us together in a way that allows us, no matter where we are, in our territory, in any other territory, on the other side of the universe, to be connected through that, and to be still a part of the same nation and of the same belief. And so that being the case, we are an empire because we are trying to expand out. We're trying to get people and assimilate them into our nation. We want to do that peacefully. We want to do that with respect for the people and their consent. But we want to do that. We want as many people as possible to become part of our nation. The other thing that we want to do is we want to have all of these different, looking to have territory just locally in Alabama region. We are trying to expand out to other macronations, other countries. We're trying to develop territories there. We're going to be working with those, attempting to connect all of these, economically connect all of these. We want to create an empire. We want to connect many different interconnected states now and territories into one cohesive group, into under one set of authority. Now we are against many things that many traditional empires. When you think of the concept of an empire, we are very different in some regards. So I understand the confusion or the potential worry over the word. But I would say that for us, we are anti-war very heavily. So we don't develop a standing military. We don't have a standing military. We are not militarily aggressive. We're not violent people. The other thing, we are specifically attempting to develop a nation which provides the highest possible quality of life to all of our citizens. Our motto is unite the invisible, achieve the impossible. So we very much have and support social programs. We are very heavily in support of creating a high standard for human rights. That includes housing as a human right. That includes food. That includes potential, health and human services. Those interconnected parts of who we are make the empire striving to assist every single person who is an Eternian, an imperial. We are trying to lift up all of our people. And so that being the case, empires are traditionally thought of as colonizers. They are thought of as people who are coming in and trying to oppress a group, especially a local group, extract resources from them. While we are trying to adopt as many people into our empire as we can, we are not looking to oppress or subjugate those people to some tyrannical rule. We are trying to develop a consensual relationship that is beneficial to that person's quality of life. We are trying to offer opportunity that allows that person to develop a life that they may have not thought possible previously. We're trying to open ourselves up to the influx of people who can teach us how to grow and how to become better and how to be more fit for more people to join us. So we are a group that is trying to better ourselves and in turn provide better opportunity to the world around us. We are an empire. We fit enough of the definition, but we do not hope to be an empire in the traditional sense at all, and we do not hope to be an oppressor in any sense. James says, my view on our imperial status is that Talon and Vine and Vitae are two imperial territories, and as being separate means Eternia meets the classical definition of an empire. I completely agree. And that is, again, our goal, right? All of our territories are not going to be perfectly connected to each other. The macronations around us would not want that. There would be no benefit in them for us to do that. So we will try to connect those territories and expand them as much as possible. But ultimately, we are going to be set in a situation where, excuse me, let me see if I can change this to be noise reducing. Let's see about that. That being the case, we are trying to develop as many territories as we can in as many different places as we can. So we do fit that definition of an empire. It's a great question. That's a great point on top of that, James. Again, if you guys don't know, James is our pact bearer for the Empire. He's the person to talk to about connecting to us, either as a citizen or as a foreign dignitary. He is the person who holds our promises together. He is the one who makes our empire work in a lot of ways. Shifts says, I think you should use of the Empire's forces, like water guns and water balloons, to invade other empires, to expand and show the world force. That's exactly what we're against. That's a part of the spiel I just made, I suppose. We are trying to build up a better world together. We think that by working with other people, we can achieve more than we can by fighting them and taking from them. So that being the case, that's a big part of who we are and what we do. James says, why make enemies when we can make friends? Absolutely, James. Let me see. Goksu says, that sounds like a noble pursuit. I wish you great success. Thank you so much. And if you want to become a part of the Empire, you sure can by clicking the link in our description. We actually have a link to our website, the Eternian Empire, eternianempire.wixsite.com/imperial market. It's a big link. Just go ahead and click it down in the description if you want to learn more about us. If you want to be a part of our micronational map, if you have a micronation, you want people to know about it, or if you want to become a citizen. There's also, I think, a link directly to our citizenship application. James says, AP, we should discuss adding bots and moderators to the stream at some point. I completely agree. We need to. I have now been able to get access and better improvement of the function of my laptop. So that's going to be something that hopefully allows us to do more with the streams in general, but that's still a little bit of a work in progress. So I will keep you guys updated with that, in particular you, James. Excuse me, let me go back and reread because you told me your name earlier, Terminix, and I forgot it. So I want to go back. Miriam, I believe. Is it Miriam? Yes, Miriam. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, and I hope you're able to calm down. I see you say you need to calm down. Hacked Account says, have you been to Microcon? We have. We went to the 2022 Microcon. That was really fun. It was in Las Vegas. We got to meet a lot of micronations that we've seen on the web around the world for quite some time. We got to meet a lot of new micronations we had no idea about, make friends. It was a cool experience. We got to showcase a little bit about who we are and what we're doing. It was nice. It was a fun experience for sure. Salute Sonor says, why should the world take you seriously? That's a great question. I think the people who should take us seriously are the people that we help. I think what is the point of what we're doing is to be able to showcase that even the small and limited resources that we can develop on our own can provide benefit. Right now, those resources are providing benefit to myself and my family directly. In much smaller scale, but still to some effect, we've been able to provide benefit to other micronations, to our own citizens, in things like ceremonies and things like gifts. These are small benefits, but they are still substantial in the lives of the people who have been affected by them. Our goal is to expand this vastly, to be able to provide all of the food that we need for myself and my family, for our citizens, as long as they are local and can access it reasonably, and as well to try and provide additional benefits to our local community, to the people who are in need. So eventually we want to get into developing housing. We have 2 territories right now. This one, Talon and Vine Farm, as well as another one, Vitae, our capital, which we hope to build housing on for our citizens. So all of that is to say, right now we are providing some small but meaningful and tangible benefit in people's lives. We want people to recognize us and take us seriously because we are doing serious work. If you don't take us seriously, that is your loss. That is something that I'm sorry to hear because we're trying to move forward and provide assistance to our community. And so if you don't take us seriously, then that means that we're coming to your community to help develop. When we're coming to an area near you to try and provide benefit, you may not support us. You may not take us seriously. You may pass that opportunity by. But this is something that can eventually help people around you, that you know, that impact your life. And so the more that we're able to develop here, the more we're able to show the world what we're about, the more people will take us seriously. And if you're somebody who comes along, sees us, and doesn't, then it may be harder for you to take us seriously in the future. You may build a skepticism and a bias that isn't necessarily something that reflects who we are and what we're doing. So you should have an appropriate amount of skepticism about anything that you see on the internet, about anything that you encounter in your life. But when you meet a genuine friend that's trying to support your community and trying to build something of their own for good reason, why not support them? Miriam said, yes, it's Miriam. Very cool. Stella says hello. Hey, Stella, how are you? It's great to see you. James says hi. Miriam says, I'm just freaking out because of IRL stuff. I wish you luck, Miriam. I know that can be tough, and I know we all have struggles to that extent. I wish you the best, and I wish we could do more to assist you. James says, excuse me. Miriam, if you want to join the Discord, we have an in-depth private talk about that. I'd be happy to help you in working through things. My elective in psychology may well be able to help you out. Hey, very cool. I'm glad to see James trying to provide additional support. Miriam says, and then Salute Sonora says, as long as there's no catch, I wish you luck. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Again, trying to do what we're doing. I appreciate that we can turn a skeptic into at least somewhat of a support. Theoretical ally, so to speak. James says, if you're not comfortable with that, I understand entirely. And then they reached out. Glad to make a connection in the chat. That's very cool. James says, there should be a link to the Micronational Discord in the About section of the Eternia channel. Very cool. A little bit of pure gold says, hi to other nations. Hey, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for supporting the channel. It means a ton. I remember last time we were talking about gardens and how you all are trying to develop your channel about homesteading and farming. Great to see you. Thank you for being back, and I'm excited to collaborate. Still, if you have time to reach out or somehow get us some contact information so we can reach out to you, we would love to work together. I don't want to talk too much about it, but I do want to bring it up. Miriam, I'm so sorry to hear that you're going through that. I read the comments. You deserve all the support in the world. I'm sorry that this is happening. James, I think, is trying to follow that sentiment and to directly engage you with that. I hope you two are able to talk and come to at least some sort of support, get to vent and get to share. But thank you for sharing with us, and we're thinking of you. Let's see. Beetle Ladybug says, whatever you're using, it sounds terrible. Your voice is muffled. Oh, goodness. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's this little microphone right here. If my voice is muffled, I will try to adjust. Let's see. Thank you for bringing it up. All right. I'll try a little lower. Maybe that'll help. If it doesn't, somebody let me know. I'll try to also move my hair out of the way so maybe it doesn't scratch the microphone. A little bit of pure gold says, I tried to email you. If someone would post the email, I can spell it out, but there's also, there should be the email written in the description. It's aeternianempire@gmail.com. Eternian Empire, aeternianempire@gmail.com. James says, AP, can you attach your throat mic to your cravat so we can hear you better? Sure. Let me see. Maybe he means attach it up. I don't know if that might be worse around. We're going to try this. How does this sound, everybody? If I can, I might, in fact, move it to the front a little bit. This may be a bit better. Let me see if I can find a good spot for this microphone. Sorry for the adjustment. Okay, so we're going to try this. I think this is working a little bit better. Let's see if it is. Miriam says, oh, they're trying to connect. Okay, cool deal. Thank you, James, for reaching out to Miriam. Ladybug says, no, it's terrible. Can't hear you. Oh, goodness. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Glad things have worked out, hopefully, on the audio. And we're trying to get a little bit better with our audio and the quality of the streams. I know that's a huge, huge thing. People say that the audio, the actual things that you can hear in a video, are much more important. Like, if you have grainy, horrible video quality, but the audio sounds really nice, a lot more people will stay than vice versa. If you have crystal clear video, but your audio is garbage, people, it annoys them, it bothers them, and I get it. So thank you. I'm glad you guys are helping me to fix the quality of the stream. But that's primarily our internal development, dealing with the garden and dealing with our quail. Right now we're trying to finish those raised gardens as possible out for the fall, start our fall. Also trying to insulate our quail cage so that as the fall starts rolling in and getting into winter, we are more prepared for those developments. So that's going to be a big thing for us. Other than that, we're going to transition into actually developing our fall industries. So again, right now we're doing a little bit with the scuppernongs that we have, trying to get the word out about them, get people to come and forage them on the land so that they learn a little bit more about what we're doing and connect with us to that degree so we can be a bigger part of our local community. And then as well, we want to try to make some products out of them. Like James talked about potentially a mead, trying to discuss things like, developing candies, developing other opportunities out of those scuppernongs, those little grapes. Then from there, we're also going to pretty quickly be running into pecan season. So we will be having lots of pecans, things that we can make into pies, that we can make into our dishes, can make as a breading for things. So there's lots of opportunities there that we can use the pecan wood as well as the actual shells for fire starting and roasting, cooking, other aspects. So that'll be something nice to get from there. And we're also trying to do things like, for example, clear out our pond so that we can fill it with fish and have that as something developed toward the spring. So lots of things that are kind of in line with each other, such that we're going to hit one after the other, after the other, after the other, as we move from early fall to late fall to early winter to late winter, and then into the spring. James says, AP, as of 59 minutes, I have to go to do Bible study before bed. I'll talk to you after the stream in the DMs. Sounds great, James. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot that you dedicate your time to us and support us. I'm glad to hear that you're doing your nightly routine, and I can't wait to talk to you soon. See ya. Pure Gold says, we're going to spend this fall repairing the chicken coop for spring and trying to clear 5 acres of heavy woods for a cabin. That's incredible. That's a huge undertaking. I'm sure you guys will have a lot of great content out on the channel about that. And also, that's big. I know you guys said you were dealing with the aftermath of a crazy storm that destroyed your house. So now going into that cabin rebuild feels like a big redemption arc. I'm glad to see that there is progress being made there and that you guys are planning that out ahead of time, getting ready for it. I'm sure you guys will do well, and I wish you all the best. It's crazy, trying to do even a little bit out here with this garden, with the quail. It's small. It's much smaller scale than you guys, and yet it feels like a lot. We're coming out and watering every day. We're taking care of the quail. We're trying to work on other things to develop the property a little bit better. So in doing all of that, it's wild to see somebody who is doing these, projects that are maybe a scale or two above us, doing things at a much larger rate, in a much larger way. So seeing that is really cool, and gives us something to motivate and to look forward to. Albanian says hi. Hey, how you doing, Albanian? Great to see you. That being the case, I do think I am going to head out as well. I have a little bit more to prepare tonight for our future development of our goals. We have the first set of goals that our government has undertaken. We're now at the halfway point of those goals being due, so I'm trying to get everybody everything they need to get those goals together and to be able to expand what we're doing out here. That's part of the thing that we're investing in addition to doing all this out here. A big part of the fall for us and developing that is actually getting started with a new year as a larger group. We're trying to develop our government so that we can invest in our people a little bit more and have more help to do all the things that we're doing. So that's the biggest way we're expanding. Hopefully that'll allow us to get up to these scales of something like you guys are doing, a little bit of pure gold, and I can't wait for that. That being the case, our biggest effort right now is going to be trying to get through that first set of goals. Again, that's due next week, basically around Friday is when they're due. So we're going to be having lots of updates there. Hopefully in the next couple weeks after that, you guys will see some results from those goals, because we'll then be transitioning, once we have those first goals due, into the second set of goals. So we'll be establishing those, discussing what that means, setting up a new path to expand out into, and correcting whatever it is that maybe went weird or maybe we learned from in this first set of goals. So that's basically what our plans for the fall are. We're trying to expand our garden by introducing our fall crop. We're trying to develop our quail into a more robust and sturdy flock for the fall and for the winter. We are trying to make use of the already available crops out here that we can harvest to connect further with our local community, as well as to try to make a little bit of profit from and provide a reduction of costs for us in terms of food and beverages. And then we are also trying to, on top of all of that, bring together a larger sense of community, a larger sense of connection between our citizens, and asking our citizens, asking these members of government to help us make that happen. So we are building our fall plans in the works as well. Myself, Tiffany, we're doing quite a bit out here to get things done in the short term, but then actually developing the long term is big to all of the people who are supporting us and making this happen right now. So thank you so much for being here. Great to see you guys. Let's see. Pure Gold says still are. We're setting up having our roof replaced and the repairs in the barn. Great to hear that. I'm excited to see things moving forward. I can't wait to hear the stories of progress. Albanian says, sorry I was late to this live. That's all right. Thank you for being here. Even just a minute of your presence means a lot to us. It allows us to learn a little bit more about you, and it also lets us grow as a micronation and as a YouTube channel. We're relying on watch time hours right now to try and build ourselves up toward monetization. So the more that you guys support us, the more we can do with that. Pure Gold says, Gal in winter is great for doing infrastructure in the off season. Fall and winter. Yeah, absolutely. Julenzo says, hello from the Federal Republics of Stelgeria. Great to see you. Thank you for being here. Pure Gold says, I was late to check in. I was late in. I didn't get a notification. I'll check to see if they're turned on. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of people that get limited notifications or like personalized notifications. If you set all notifications, it will give you the notification. So thank you. Miriam says, good night, AP. Good night, Miriam. Great to see you. Miriam says, thank you so much for these streams. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of our community. Thank you so much for being who you are. And thank you so much for the time that you spend. I know there's a lot going on in life. I know for you especially. There's not always a great solution in the moment. As I'm sure a little bit of Pure Gold can tell you. They had their house destroyed recently. That was something quite devastating for them, I'm sure. Everybody has a lot of stuff going on, and that's not to diminish or downplay what's going on with you, but just to say that, know that there are other people who are in it with you. We're compatriots in that. We care about you. We hope you're doing well. And even if we can't come in and help to fix whatever it is that's going on, know that people are thinking of you, and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is a life waiting for you on the other side. And that we're all proud to be a part of the time that you've shared with us, and can't wait to see what you do with it in the future. So again, thank you for being here. Everyone who has supported the streams, everyone who's supported Eternia for the last 9 years. We're trying to push forward from our 9th into our 10th year with a blaze of glory. We're going to try and get bigger and better, and we're going to try and showcase more people who are amazingly talented, who are a part of the Empire of Aeternia and our community, who are making things happen. I know Mirian is an amazing artist, and so I can't wait to see more things from Mirian, and I hope we can showcase those things. I hope we can show them off. So for all of that, for connecting with a little bit of pure gold, and hopefully a collaboration soon, for keeping up with the Empire of Albania, as we always do, and of course to our sponsors in the Garden of Nations, of course to all of our patrons, everybody else, all of our members of government, all of our citizens. Thank you for being here, and as always, Eternia oh my goodness, Eternia forever. See you guys.